Anyway, I'm super excited. I think every coach has their one part of football that they really, really like the scheme side of. For me, that's attacking people's punt. Okay? I love coaching punt, but I love attacking people's punt more than anything. I feel really, really confident when my team goes out on 4th down when I coach in the UK. The general attitude is whether I'm the one who's on the punt team or I'm the one coaching the punt return team, I'm going to fuck you up, okay? That's my whole deal. That's my whole deal. I'm going to be attacking of you on 4th down, okay? So we're going to talk about scouting and attacking your opponent's punt team. Real fast, you guys are all in your off season right now. Because you're all here, you're all seeking new angles of examination, new ways to view your own scheme, view your own coaching, okay? You're gathering resources. The two things here I want to talk about, which are a little more difficult though, okay? Problematizing your own coaching. Essentially that means looking at yourself, looking at your philosophies, looking at how you do everything, how you talk, how you scheme, how you interact with players, and try and say, what can I do better, okay? But you're all self-aware, okay? Self-awareness is the number one trait you can have, which is a change agent, okay? Self-awareness is the number one important quality to have as a human being, okay? Because it helps make you better constantly. You guys are all self-aware that you want to improve as a football coach, okay? I'm self-aware that I want to learn from everyone here. I learned so much this weekend, okay? And that's why you're here. So continue to problematize your own coaching, be self-aware, seek new angles of examination, gather resources, become better. And then this point here, okay? Do not be afraid to contradict. Oh, whoa. Who you were yesterday or what you previously thought, okay? If you come out of this weekend and you do everything the exact same, this was a waste of time. You may as well stayed at home, okay? Or you're just here for the license points or whatever. But you should do something different after this weekend, okay? Don't be afraid, okay, to say, hey, I was wrong yesterday, okay? There's some film up here, and I talked yesterday about some film of stuff that I coached, and I'm like, God, that was a dumbass thing to coach. Hey, I learned, and now I'm better, okay? But you got to have the self-awareness to be able to do that. So, the aim of this clinic, I'm going to introduce how I teach punt return. I'm going to overview how you scheme the block and the return versus some different punt schemes. And then really all I want to do is give you some usable punt return ideas for your team. Okay, it's February now. You're probably getting back to 11-on-11 football at some point with your practice very soon. And you're probably right at the end of putting together your playbooks, okay? I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should do, but I'm going to try to give you some tools and show you how I view attacking some of these punt schemes, and then the rest is up to you guys how you want to scheme it up, okay? So what we're going to go through, how I teach it conceptually, okay? Identify some different punt schemes, how we scheme the block, look at some teach tape of what I show my players, how we scheme the return, again, look at some teach tape. I'm going to did I do this? Yes, there's a little bit of a drill menu in here. And then this point at the bottom, game planning, okay? That's a big point. Hopefully I get all the way through. If not, I'll talk about it in the breakout room. In the breakout room, I'll also talk about how you can effectively get a good punt return by just leaving your defense on the field. Okay, so I know that, a lot of us guys here, we probably coach on teams where sometimes you only have 30 or 40 players or maybe even less, and you don't want to sub an entire punter team on. In the breakout room, I'll talk about some different ways you can just leave your defense on the field, okay? But to start with, okay, teaching punt versus punt return concepts, okay? I've coached at 10 places, okay? 9 of those places had players that had never played football before, okay? Everyone here, I bet, coaches on a team where you have a complete rookie, okay? Completely new player, okay? This is why teaching conceptually is so important when you start football, okay? Football is a very information-heavy sport on new players. There's a lot of fast things happening. We always say the more you play, the more the game slows down. The game doesn't slow down. Your eyes speed up and you process faster, okay? You process information faster. But it's hard at the start. They're learning new physical, techniques. There is no other sport in which a guy does this. Okay? That's freaking weird. Okay? And he's got a pick up, a twist, and a loop, and oh my God, it's all over the place. Okay? It's information heavy physically and mentally. Then they got to link it together. That's hard. It's a language. Okay? It's a language. Okay, this is the biggest thing I talk about. I'm big about language and how we speak to players. At the NFL Academy, we have players from 22 different countries, okay? Loads of different languages, okay? How we speak to our players matters, okay? Because it's part of the learning, okay? Special teams for new players, new big athletic guys. You're a U19 coach or a U20 coach, you get a 6'4", 220 kid show up and you're like, boom, here we go, let's go. And then he knows nothing about football. You got to teach him, okay? You can get him on the field on special teams, but here's the thing. If you view special teams different to offense and defense, your players will also view it different to offense and defense, okay? But if you teach special teams as just an offense or a defensive play with a kick, your players will view it as such. The total information then they have to learn goes way down. Because if you say, hey, there's 3 phases to football, and they think, damn, I got to learn 3 things? No, you got to learn offense and defense, and then I'm going to show you how it applies to special teams as well. Okay, because a lot of these are offensive and defensive plays. And I always say this, when players think, they stop playing. Our job as a coach, okay, is to clarify for the players, okay, what they need to look for, and then just get them to play fast. Faster they play, the better they play. The less they think, the more they play. Our job is to think and then get them to play, okay? If you're overloading them with information, like you're not doing your job properly, okay? Get them to play. When they think, they stop playing. Okay, let's get them to play fast. Okay, so where does offense and defense fit into punt and punt return, okay? Punt return is a defensive play that becomes an offensive play if you don't fuck it up. If I told you it is a guaranteed interception, you'd be like, oh, wow, it is. It's a guaranteed interception by the middle of the field safety, essentially. That's what punt return is. If you play defensively sound, okay? Pre-snap, the punt team have got to abide by a legal offensive formation. They have to have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. They can only motion 1 guy. They can shift. They can line up in whatever funky-ass formation they want to, but it's got to be related to a normal offensive play, okay? You take a regular pro-style punt, okay? To me, you take this punter, put him up here. That just looks like what I used to call delta. 2 receivers, 2 wings, tailback, quarterback. Okay? That's it. It's a regular offensive play. There's my offensive line. We're abiding by regular offensive rules. There's the interception, and now we can rock and roll. We even call them center, guard, tackle, tight ends or wings, PP or running back, and then the quarterback back here who gets snapped the ball. So it's a regular offensive formation. Here's what I used to do when I was coaching amateur football in the UK. It's a regular offensive formation, okay? I have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage. I'm just in an unbalanced formation. So I'm making my left tackle eligible, okay, by alignment because he's off the ball and we're going to bring him in motion, okay? It's just bringing a guy in motion. That guy doesn't know the punt scheme and he's trying to tell him to get on the ball and I'm like, get your ass back. I'm in charge. I really like that guy, but sticks his nose in sometimes. Here we go. And then we bring the guy in motion and kick it so we get an overload over there. But it's just an offensive play, okay? So therefore, we start as a defensive team, okay? And what's defense? It's not complicated. Fit the run, cover the eligibles. It's all you got to do, okay? Have a plan to fit the run and cover the eligible receivers. To me, that's it, okay? So you take the New York Jets, right? I mean, whoo! These guys ran a lot of fake punts this year because they suck so bad on offense. Hey, it is what it is, okay? These guys, you know, it happens. But shift and it's spread, or as we call it, duo. They're trying to get the look they want. Jacksonville are pretty, you know, tuned to it. Okay, we get out of it, force a timeout, okay? But it's an offensive play. Okay, here, I really like this one. I think this is the Patriots trying to get one up on the, who is this? The Ravens here. They've put this guy off the ball when he's usually on the ball, and they've put the wing up here. That makes him eligible, right? Because he's an uncovered player. Technically, he's a left tackle, but he's an uncovered player. Eligible, 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 eligible. If you're not tuned to seeing it, okay, and you don't have good communication here, okay, you see what they try to do? Oh, they're trying to work it back to him. But the Ravens are pretty switched on, okay? And now, fake over. Good defense. Recognizing the eligibles. And then here, Jets again. I mean, these guys, they kind of left their whole offense on the field, but got into a punt formation. I guess Denver are akin to it because here we go. They're just fitting the run. They have a guy for every gap. Fit the run, cover the eligibles. He's eligible, him, and then the two gunners out wide. But you just fit the run like it's a regular dive play. And then you stop them for a loss. Woo! How many run gaps are there in football? I ask this question to everybody. And you don't have to say it, okay? But the answer may surprise you. There are 11 run gaps in football. There's outside of him, in here, here, and outside of him. Okay? A run gap isn't, to me, just the offensive line, because when you bring in the slots and you bring in the wideouts, okay, you get into a compressed formation, there's 11 run gaps. If the runner or the running back adds an extra gap and the quarterback's running the ball, there's 11 run gaps. Hey, but it's okay because we have 11 players on defense. So that's pretty good, okay? Good deal for me, at least. We can have a plan to cover every gap, okay? But you got to understand, in punt return, you lose a guy, okay? Because he's way back at 50 yards deep, okay? One returner deep, there's 10 players in the fit, you've lost a guy. Two returners deep, there's 9 players in the fit. You got to have a plan, okay? You will always be at least one man short in the run fit and punt return. Know where the gap is and how to determine the risk. Sometimes, if it's 4th and 1, and I mean, firstly, I'm not even going to put the punt return team out there. I'm going to leave the defense out there and just cover one man, okay? Because at least they know how to fit the run. I may bring the returner all the way up to the line of scrimmage and say, hey, you got to cover this run gap, buddy. Because we're expecting some kind of run fake, okay? Here's just a simple 44 rush. Where do we lose a gap? If this guy lead blocks for him, let's say up through the B gap, we lose a player here, okay? Because then they have 9 run gaps and we only have 8 guys. If they snap it to the punter, we're okay. If they snap it to the personal protector, we're also okay. Because he's got to run through these 8 covered gaps, okay? So you just got to know the risks, okay? Another example versus a shield punt, okay? Where do we lose a gap? Well, if this middle shield player walks up into here, can you guys see my laser pointer? Yes? Oh, jawohl. Okay, so we're walking up here. We would lose a gap, okay? Now this guy's got to come up and make a play. If you play good defense pre-kick, guaranteed turnover. Woohoo! Everyone loves interceptions. No one cheers really loudly when the punter catches the ball. The punt returner catches the ball. You guys suck. Why not? Okay? It's an interception. We're getting the offense on the field. Okay? That's awesome for me. So, now you have possession. Okay? The play shifts to an offensive play. And what's the aim of the offense? For me, it just boils down to creating space for the ball carrier. That's it. In the run game, what do we want to do? Put the ball carrier in space. In the pass game, what do we want to do? Put a defender in conflict in order to create space for the intended receivers. Space, 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 space. Okay? I don't know what the German word for space is, but if I worked in the GFL, I'd be saying it all the time. Okay? This relies on a key football concept, which I talked about yesterday from a defensive point of view. Leverage. Oh, my favorite word. Oh my God. And it's even in rainbows to show you how much I like it. Okay? Love leverage, okay? I talked about it yesterday from a defensive point of view, that defensive leverage is simply what foot and what shoulder do I aim to tackle the ball carrier with. If I'm tackling you, sir, right there, I'm a right foot, right shoulder player right at your ass right now, okay? Or if I'm over this side, I'm tackling sir in the Gratz Giants hat, I'm a left foot, left shoulder player right now. That's defensive leverage, okay? What's offensive leverage though, okay? Your return team must understand their leverage in the intended return scheme, okay? what position do I need to be in relation to the defender and the ball carrier, okay? Let's say you're a coverage guy. Hey, I know I got a right return called. I got to stay on this side of you the whole time. You try to work over, I'm going to work up here. You run down there, wonderful. I'm running your ass way out of the play. And my returner's going, whee, touchdown. Bad news for the Thirsty Razorbacks. They just gave up a punt return touchdown. Bad job, guys. Come on. Okay, so what position do I need to be in relationship to the defender and the ball carrier? That's what you have to give your guys every time, okay? Give them very simple play diagrams like this, okay? We know we got a right return on, okay? So my jam team, okay, I'm doubling both gunners. I'll talk about that later. They got to get to here. They got to get to here. They got to get to here, okay? My backside B2, okay? He's got to work inside. I said in this game the guard sucks, so we're just not going to cover him, okay? And then my B3's got to get to the long snapper, okay? But they all have a leverage plan, okay? We've got a right return on. They got to get to here on the guy. However they do it, okay? We'll work the drills of that, but the main thing you tell them is get between your guy and where the ball carrier is going to be, okay? I love this clip from the Tennessee Titans. I just found this a couple days ago, and I thought I had to put it in because this is a very risky punt return, okay? And I'll show you this from the end zone. What they actually start with, they don't have any man assignments here, okay? All they do is they line up in a rush look, and then everybody sprints over here to the right. They leave all of the Chargers coverage players working here. All these guys, you know what they're thinking? Where the fuck did that guy go? And now they're running down the field. They're like, oh my God, I got a free shot at this guy. I got a free shot at the returner. He's running right at me. Great, I'm going to stop my feet and get ready to tackle him. Returner works upfield, holds all these guys here. That guy is thinking, oh damn. That guy's thinking, oh no. You better keep this on your right foot and your right shoulder, 43, because else we're fucked. Nope, gets outside. Nope, gets outside. Convoy. You know what? The Tennessee Titans should have just left their punt return team on the field all year. They might have done better. But never mind, we're all good, okay? Again, when we talk about punt and punt return and when I teach it to players, okay, this is part of my playbook. You don't have to read all of this. I think I sent this out to a couple guys. I'll send it out to anyone who wants it, okay? Explain the rules. Explain your personnel, okay? Explain some of the terms you use. Like I said, football's information heavy on new players. Okay, really information heavy on new players, okay? So make it easy for them, okay? The line of scrimmage is an English word that actually, really in English, doesn't really make sense, okay? Because it's just where you spot the ball. But it's a line and it's scrimmage, which I guess is fighting, right? If I'm going to fight you, Gabe, we're going to scrimmage together. It's going to be awesome, okay? Well, anyway, and then you got to learn it in a different language. So you get a guy who doesn't speak any English coming to you as a GFL team, and you say line of scrimmage. He's like, what the fuck is that, okay? Give him a glossary. Do it in German, Austrian, whatever, okay? Help them out, okay? So we kind of just gone over some broad concepts. Now we're going to look at identifying families of punt schemes. Okay, Sun Tzu, Art of War. Okay, he said, know your enemy, 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. Okay, most punt schemes you will see in Europe, okay, that I've seen at least, are either in the pro style, spread, or the shield punt family. Okay, shield punt, probably more prevalent because we play on college hashes in the GFL. In the ELF, you really only see pro style punt. I think the Enthroners did a shield punt once. Bad time for them, okay? But this is how we rock and roll, okay? Pro style punt. You've all seen it in the NFL, right? Tight splits, okay? Wing players, guard players, tackles. Looks like a condensed offensive formation. Two gunners out here. Obviously, the rules are, okay, these guys have got to kick back and they can only release after the ball's been kicked, okay? Only two players can go downfield straight on the kick like these gunners are doing, okay? That's a generic pro-style punt, okay? This is a generic shield punt, okay? You can have really any variation of splits. These guys may be all the way out here. You may have this guy split out here, but the core protection concept is that you're going to let guys run through to the shield. You're going to have big dudes in the shield, and you're going to protect the kick path, okay? Those are the two you see. Here's some variations, okay? This is just an example of what I ran in Bristol. I took the personal protector out because I'm playing on college hashes. I still wanted pro-style protection just because I felt more comfortable teaching it at that time, okay? But I wanted to mitigate the issue of coverage, okay? If the hash is here on an NFL field, okay, there's about 6 plus 23, there's like 29 yards of space to the field, okay? Problem is, in college football, the hash is over here. So if I have all my guys in a pro-style punt formation, it's harder to cover over there if they flip the field, okay? That's why you see more guys doing shield punt. So I did that by just taking out the personal protector, and I made him a slot gunner. We motioned him around. We did some formation stuff. It just helped us out in coverage, okay? But it's still pro-style protection principles, okay? Here, cut the clip a little bit, but again, a shield variation, they just split 2 guys out, okay? And they have 1 guy up top. I've seen teams literally leave the snapper in the field, and it's a 5-yard split until the next guy, or a 10-yard split until the next guy. Max mat splits, you pull the defense out as well, okay? So there's all different variations, but the core is, okay, a condensed guard, tackle, wing set for a pro-style punt, and 3 big fat dudes right here for a shield punt. That's, you know, really the biggest limitation, the biggest variations you're going to see, okay? So when I'm attacking a pro-style punt team, I want to go and block it, okay? Let's talk about blocking this, okay? My answer when I'm trying to block versus a pro-style punt, can I create an overload, whether that's a 50-free look versus just guard, tackle, wing, or can I create a 2-on-1 somewhere? And then, how do I create the best one-on-one matchup, okay? Usually it's going to be my best rusher versus a wing player, okay? Those are the 2 things that I try to attack, okay? Can I create an overload? Really good versus gap protection, okay? Really good versus gap protection, okay? For me, I can identify gap protection on film by a fast operation. They get out, boom, they snap it, and they just set back to their outside gap, okay? If it's a fast operation, they're probably doing that, okay? Posted inside hand, that's a technique you'll see. As the guy's going back, he's going to post his inside hand and then work out to his outside gap, okay? Quick sets, and then the snapper and the personal protector always staying in because they have the A-gaps, okay? Those are keys to see when you're looking at a pro-style punt that it is a gap scheme protection. This is it, right? This is the protection Bible, okay? This is how they may identify it, and then this is how they would end up blocking it, okay? This is pretty much the synopsis of many pro-style punt gap scheme playbooks, okay? So how do we go and attack it, okay? Well, this is what it looks like, okay, in person. This is a pro-style punt versus Stuttgart. Again, really good rush team, right? Really, really good rush team. If you know any of these players, these guys are all dudes. These guys are all dudes, man. Now, punt is the one place where I do not compromise, and my best players have to be on the punt team. So we got like Romo, he was our starting nickel. We got AJ, who's our Mike linebacker. Victor, he was our tight end. You know, our big long snapper. For me, one of the best long snappers in the league. Okay, he was our big tight end as well. Best dudes have got to play on it. Okay, this is how we relate. Slide him here, B, C, D out here. Okay, and now we're working. That's how it looks versus a 44 rush. Okay, now versus a 53 rush. Okay, when you go unbalanced, what do? You force those 2 A-gap players to work over to the same side. Who are the A-gap players? Okay, that's the center and a personal protector. Now, you isolate these 3 versus these 3 a little more. There's more space for these dudes to work in. This is a protection check. Now, you may be able to find the fish, aka the left tackle. Finding the fish is what Coach Jorn Scholl talked about in his talk earlier. You do it on field goal block, you do it on punt block, okay? Find the weakness, okay? Denver found the weakness. And now, because we're in a 53 look, we get to isolate it a little bit, okay? So get into your 53 looks, okay? 53 just means 5 guys on one side, 3 on the other, okay? Here, widen out your 1 and 2 guys a little more, create a fuck up in the protection. Can you get 2-on-1 on the wing? Really, what should happen here? 5 should take the widest guy. 43 should be working here. Left guard should be working there. And either the snapper or the PP should be on the number 4, okay? If that was a man blocking scheme. However, because it's a gap blocking scheme, they kind of get messed up here. Because 43 initially thinks, oh, he's lined up as a 5, that's my guy. No. Because now we get a 2-on-1 on the wing, and oh my God. And that's as basic as it comes. Okay, that's not even a really good return scheme by the Titans here. It's just bad communication by the Browns. And now we get a 2-on-1 on the wing. Okay, now how do I create my best matchup? 1-on-1. Okay, talked about creating a 2-on-1 matchup, talked about going to 53 and 35 to isolate 3 guys on 3 guys in space. Okay, this is really good versus man protection. Okay, in a man protection rule, you're going to see these guys come out. They're going to line up. They're going to go, hey, 53's mine, 53's mine. You're going to get all the guys doing that along the line, pointing, communicating. It's a little longer of an operation. You see it. You have to watch the TV copies, okay? Sometimes when you get sent film, they cut it out. That's what I used to do, okay? I would cut out all of our guys pointing on our punt team so teams couldn't figure out if we were a gap or a zone team. I don't think it worked, but, whatever. I was trying to win, okay? Deeper sets to exchange twists, and the snapper and the personal protector will release, okay? Because they have a man responsibility, and let's say there's only 6 guys in the box, you'll often see those guys just release right away. Okay, that's what I did. You get an extra gunner down the field. Because they don't have an A-gap responsibility. They've got whoever number 4 is, or whoever number 1 is. He's not there. My ass is out of there. Get to the coverage a little quicker. Okay, so here, this is just an example of trying to create a great one-on-one matchup, okay? We're actually in a return look here, okay? I identified number 31. If you're in the room, 31, I'm really sorry. This ain't going to be a fun 5 minutes for you, okay? But I identified 31 as the guy I want to attack. I have one guy forcing the kick, Dusan Novakovic, who's a crazy Serbian bobsled guy, so he's got a great get-off, motocross rider. Honestly, one of my favorite players I've ever coached, ever. If anyone's ever played against him or coached him, you know he's an awesome guy, okay? And he is a fucking crazy special teams player, okay? He comes off the ball. They get a bit of a high snap. That guy's in the NFL. He's a really, really good punter, okay? But we just get a great one-on-one matchup. Everyone else is trying to jam it up, put your best guy on their worst guy, knock his ass back, create a big play. And then if he'd have recovered this for a touchdown, that would have been great. This is a really good heads-up play by 34. So way to go, right? Just so you know, for your rules, you can either take a safety or you can take a penalty for illegal kicking, and you essentially get the ball spotted 1st and 10 at like the 8-yard line or wherever he kicked it from, okay? Half the distance to the goal line from the punt. We had that twice in the first 2 games, scored on both of them, okay? The first time the guy just snapped it over his head. Great for me because it counts as a punt block, kind of. So, find your best matchup on film, okay? Find your best matchup, put your best guy on him, okay? Put your best guy, get him a wide stance, because now he's got to work really wide out here to try and cover his hips. If I'm a right tackle and you're a 9 tech, okay, we're teach our guys, cover his hips as much as you can, okay? As soon as you cover his hips, the battle's over. But now he's got to kick deep and wide, and now he's in space. Uh-oh. Dusan Novakovic, defensive end, versus a guy who I think plays linebacker. Good matchup for me. Bad matchup for them. They won this game, so, didn't really matter in the end. Now, 53, you're forcing the personal protector to work over here. Can you get a good matchup with a run-up? Okay, here they get number 35, who's clearly a dude, okay, with a little bit of a run-up because he's looping, and he's just going to run through 33's face. Boom, great matchup, hand inside, big pump block, okay? They understand that they're going to get the personal protector sliding across. They can get their guy who's looping to get a bit of a run-up, and now we get a great one-on-one matchup. That's a good deal. And then this crazy-ass look from the Panthers that I found a couple weeks ago, okay? Who do you think the best rush guy is on this team? That guy, right? The guy they're isolating. All of these guys are having to go down, 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 down. Uh-oh, it's you and me, buddy. You and me. Find ways to isolate your best rusher. Bye-bye. Thank you. Pump block. Big field position swing, right? That's a crazy-ass way to do it because they may have just ran to the left, okay? But these are just creative examples to try and get your best guy isolated up one-on-one. Okay, so stemming from a 44 look to a 35-53 rush, it's very hard on the long snapper, okay? I either want to attack the wing or the long snapper personal protector combo, okay? Loop in an athletic rusher across the face of the long snapper makes it hard on the PP to make an exchange. It's very easy for me, if I'm the guard and the tackle, to exchange. I go boom, 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 boom. Hey, you take him, he's my guy now. If I'm the personal protector and the long snapper, if I'm a snapper, all I'm thinking about is snapping that remote, okay? And I know my guy is somewhere over there because they told me. And if he loops, I got to go boom, find it. Oh, fuck, where's the guy? Oh, he's here. Okay. It's hard, okay? So when you try to do some kind of A-gap twist, it's hard on those guys to pick it up, okay? This is one of my favorite clips in football, okay? This is Notre Dame versus somebody who ain't as good as them, okay? And you're going to see them get into a look. Now this, although it kind of looks like a shield, to me it's a pro-style formation. Okay, to me this is a pro-style formation. Here's your guard, here's your tackle, here's your wing. Here's your snapper. Here's your guard, here's your tackle, here's your wing, here's your personal protector. It's man because these guys are sliding over, okay? But now all they're doing, they're leaving the long snapper on the backside. These three are picking up these three. These five are picking up these five, okay? That means my long snapper is one-on-one with this dude. That's a dude right there. So, loops over. Boom, great punt. Look at that. He can't do anything. Number 44, he's got to get over to get to his assignment over here. It's hard on the long snapper. He doesn't even have his head up before 7's over. And guess what? If something works in a game, just keep doing it until the other team adjusts. This is not the same clip. This is a different clip. It is exactly the same look, exactly the same rush, exactly the same schematic issue. Loop over, 2 punt blocks in one game. Just by understanding the opponent's man protection scheme and creating the best matchup. Okay? Use your American on it. Okay? Get your American linebacker safety to do it. Okay? Safeties are good because they're kind of skinny. They can get through a gap. Okay. Finally, creeping out of a return look. Okay? So we were in this return look all day. I talked enough shit about Frankfurt and money and referees yesterday, so I'm not going to do it today. But we're in this return look all day, and then my jammer comes off the side. Hey, this gunner's in a really tight split. I'm like, okay, you know what that means? Creeper, okay? Creeper block. This is a man protection scheme. They're pointing out guys. He's not included in the count, so we creep him in. Oh, my fault. We creep him in late. He has to know the cadence. This is like fourth quarter, okay? It's a really tight game. There's one score in it. We ended up losing this game. But he creeps in, and he's able to knife in there. Tips it very slightly. Shanks a punt. We get the ball at 50-yard line. That's huge field position in a close game. And this was a really close game, okay? We ultimately lost this game, but we're trying to create explosives for our offense, okay? But again, communication. If you get a tight split and you're in a double jammer look, you can creep that guy in, okay? So how do we scheme it versus shield punts now, okay? Talked about pro style. I've given you some ideas, some tools now about shield punts, okay? There are always going to be some variation of gap scheme protection from the front line, okay? Because they don't kick step, they don't set step, they just release and go. The technique I teach on the front line, okay, if I'm releasing here, is literally push off this foot, rip through your gap to your coverage lane. All you have to do is slightly hold up the guy in that gap. They're not blockers. They're a bunch of DBs and fast guys up there, okay? We teach release through your zone to your coverage. So that means they are going to let guys run through. My process when I want to block a shield punt, manipulate the front line by alignment. How do I overload the shield? If it's a 3-man shield, you got to get 4 through. If it's a 2-man shield, you got to get 3 through. Whew. It's making me excited just thinking about this, okay? What do I mean by win by alignment? Manipulate the alignment, okay? Scheming versus the shield punt. Alignment is so important to creating advantageous rush situations, okay? Alignment dictates how many guys you can get through to the shield. Alignment dictates how many guys you can get through to the shield because of the blocking rules of the front line. Okay? Alignment is so, so important. Okay? It's just freaking awesome, okay? What I do is I have my 8 rush guys line up, essentially double teaming the tackles and the guards. We're going to create a 2-on-1 everywhere. I need to get 4 guys through here, okay? They have 4 guys that could potentially block. This guy ain't going to affect it. He's going to snap. We're going to be through before he gets up. So I'm saying you're going to take out one of these. You're going to take out one of these guys. I'm going to get 4 through. 8 minus 4 is 4, okay? Last I checked, okay? So that's pretty good. Whoever they take out, it doesn't matter who they take out. Here I've got an example where the guards and tackles are fanning out. Okay, that's a common shield punt thing. Spread the field, okay? They're not going to be able to block these guys because they're going to knife in. And now we get our 4-on-3, okay? Now we get our 4-on-3. Okay, now this is, really it gets to a 2-man shield in the end, but I want to show you what I mean by winning by alignment. Okay, and understanding the blocking scheme of the opponent. You don't have to be a genius. There's like 3 different ways to run on the front line. You either zone to the right, zone to the left, pinch, or fan. That's 4, okay? So I lied. Here you go. So let's look at number 10, okay? They understand that that guy's got to block down here, the guard on 17. 2 has got to get all the way down on 10. That's hard. And you're going to see it happen right now, okay? They're motioning, they're talking, blah, 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 blah. Okay, motion them out. All right, let's snap the ball, okay? That's a really hard block for 2 because of 10's alignment, okay? What's he in? He's in like a 3, okay? That's really hard for him to block down on. Now he gets to run across the face of the punter and tip the ball. Okay, instead of getting the ball at like the opposition's 30, you get the ball at the opposition's, I don't know, 10. Okay, big, big play. Understanding the alignment rules. Here's another one, okay? How are we going to get an overload? Oklahoma State. Woo! Go Cowboys. Here we go. So, again, we get a zone to the, what is this way? The left from the offense's point of view, okay? He's working here. He's working here. So these 2 guys are going to come unblocked. He's working here. He's working here. So that guy and that guy's going to come unblocked. That's 4 guys, okay? Here we go. 4 versus 3. Get him through. 1 guy comes free off the edge. Beautiful. Overload the shield. I just talked about how you're going to get those guys through. Now, once you get to the shield, with your numbers advantage, how do we want to get it going, okay? We're just fitting run gaps. Okay, we're just fitting run gaps, okay? That's all we're doing here. So you have the shield. How many run gaps are there? 4. Okay, fear. And I got fear players for it. Okay, striking fear into the opponents. Here we go, okay? But now just working run gaps, okay? The 2 interior guys have got to go either side of the middle guy. If they don't, then you get 2 guys in 1 gap. You maybe don't get the block. They've got to be disciplined here, wherever they're coming from. And now we get a split. 2 things will happen. Either they will fracture like this guy did and he got through, or they will squeeze down, and then unless that punter is dead freaking center on the middle of it, your edge guy has a chance. And long snappers aren't always fantastic. Okay, that's why I prefer pro style. I think the protection's a little more sound versus shield. If I had a great long snapper and I was in the GFL, I'd probably be in a shield punt because I can be more effective with coverage if he's consistent. Okay, but if that snap ain't good, my edge guy's going to have a chance. Okay, we're just trying to fit this run. 2-man shield now, okay? I get 3 guys through because I got 2 off the edge, okay? I really like what this guy is doing. All he's doing, he's going to try to cross face and crash into that guy. And that works this guy free. And now we work through, we get across the hips of the punter, okay? We're fitting run gaps. That's all we're doing. Like I say, once we get through, you must get 1 guy in each gap. 2 guys in 1 gap, the guy can block you down, mess it all up. We want to open up space, okay? Space is our friend on this, okay? So, and then if you continue to get great pressure up the middle, this is the kind of caveat of this. If you continue to get great pressure up the middle, what happens is, what do the front line do? Well, they've been fanning the whole game trying to get to the coverage. They gave up a punt block. The special teams coordinator's going, I don't want to give up a punt block again. Okay, everybody pinch. That's great, because if they pinch, sure, they stop you, but also they're not getting to their coverage lane. Now they have delayed coverage downfield. They have 3 fat guys back there that can't cover, the kicker who can't cover. So then they're trying to cover an American with 7 players that don't get a good get-off. Win. Big, big win. Because then you just call your return call. Okay, let's look at some teach tape, okay? This is stuff I always show the players, okay? Teaching points when I'm saying how to block a punt. Reduce your surface area on the rush. Intentional stance and first step, okay? If I am working this way, okay? Understand the difference between putting this foot up and how it affects your get off versus this foot up, okay? If my aim is to go there, I'm going to load this inside ball of my foot and just press off it and go, okay? We got to eliminate false steps as much as possible. We need to be quick off the ball, okay? Aim for the block point. Teach your players. You're not trying to hit the punter. That's a dumbass thing to do. You're trying to hit a point at about 10.5 yards, depending on how far back the punter is. You have to find it on film. If he's at 12 yards and it's a one-step operation, block point's at about 10.5. If he's at 15 and it's a 3-step operation, block point's at about 11, 10.5 yards, okay? Put it out there. Say you're just trying to get to that point, okay? Show them the film of it, okay? Hips, track. If your hips were on a train track, okay? I have to come down to show you guys this. If your hips are on a train track, does the microphone still work down here? Okay, awesome. If my hips are on a train track to the punter, stand up for me, sir. Appreciate it. He's the punter, okay? Stand right there. My hips have got to go past him. So if I'm rushing from the inside, my hips are past his hips. If I'm rushing across him, okay, my hips are on a train track across his face, okay? They never intersect. If I drew 2 lines with his hips, okay, my track is never going to go right into it and overlap it. Thank you. Great job. Way to go. Go Cowboys. Woo! All right, here we go. Hands together down to the ball like Duchamp did. Just freaking over the ball and whacked it down. That's awesome, man. 2 hands together, okay, if you can. So reduce surface area, okay? Use your athletes. Use your rushing linebackers. Works in here, gives in the up and under. Boom. Reduces surface area, gets across the face of the wing. I love it. You can teach this drill. Honestly, linebacker coaches probably teach this in their rush stuff. Use your linebackers here, okay? Get crossover. You don't have to just do this drill for special teams. Cross his face, reduce your surface area, okay? Which one's this? 2 hands down to the ball, right? You'll see number 24 here with a great block technique, and show this film to your players, okay? You can have it. 2 hands together, down to the ball. Don't rush and go this. Woohoo! Useless. Fucking useless, okay? Over the football. Over the football. Over the football as much as you can. Don't just rush up and go, oh, I'm going to tip it over the bar. You're not a goalkeeper. This is football, okay? It's a bit more physical. Whew, getting a sweat on here. Working hard. Okay, this is my favorite clip of freaking ever, okay? I say that about a lot of clips, but this is the one, okay? This shows 2 guys who are very well trained to go across the face of the punter when they're rushing off the edge, okay? Or from the side. You get 2 guys crossing across the punter, not into his body, but over the football, and look at their paths, okay? This is awesome. That's what you want to do. Run across the face of the punter over the ball. Oh, I missed one. No, I didn't. And then this one, okay, when you've got an interior rush situation, okay, again, hips of the punter, run past him. When you're rushing up the middle, put 1 hand in, okay? Just leave 1 hand. If you can get 2, that's great. But you should be leaving 1 hand in there over the football. If I'm across the face of the punter, boom, 2 hands like that, okay? Leaves that 1 hand in. That's all you got to do. You just got to leave that 1 hand in there. You don't have to violently whack the ball down. You literally leave your hand there. He kicks it up into your hand and you block it. Or you tip it and it rolls 3 yards. Either way, that's a win, okay? That's a big win as well. Okay, now let's look at scheme of the return. So you've been blocking and blocking and blocking and blocking and blocking, but then your GM calls you and he goes, hey, I'm paying like €1,000 a month for this import receiver DB that should play returner. And y'all are blocking the punt all the time? Those are the questions I'd be asking. Why are we not getting the ball in his hands? we had Devin Burrell in Wrocław, okay? And if you played against Devin Burrell, oh my God, like this guy is insane, okay? 90% of my punt return calls were just get him the ball, get him in space, okay? Play to your advantage, okay? My aims versus a pro-style punt. Let's go first against pro-style. Return to the field as much as I can and double both gunners. Return from wherever they are not trying to punt the ball, okay? Because most pro-style punts try to punt to the boundary to reduce it, and then I'm going to try to double both gunners where I can. So here you have Atlanta. Atlanta are actually punting to the field here, and then covering it over here. So all of the return flow is going way over there. Punter, returner catches it. He's got a field return on. Maybe they scouted that when the punter stands like this, slightly offset, they're trying to kick it way over there. Okay, we got a right return call. Awesome. Let's get all our players in leverage positions and let's return it to the field. Flip the field. It is hard, really, really hard. You're challenging their leverage as a defense or as a coverage team. It's hard to do, man. That's a big return, okay? And then you can double both gunners, okay? We're trying to get Devin the ball in space here. Man, the first thing I want to do is I want to double both gunners. In the pro-style formation, okay, this is the best coverage guy. These two cats right here. Put two guys on them. Give your returner, you know how I was talking about Duchan? Look at this crazy asshole right here. Imagine being the right wing, seeing the guy frothing at the mouth and doing this. And you're like, oh my God, 5 minutes? Really? Oh shit, okay. The other guy took like 20 extra minutes, so we'll see. Okay. You guys favor quarterbacks here. Boo. Whatever. Anyway, look how much space we get Devin because we prevent that guy. And also, Lenny Creek fucking bombed this ball like 70 yards. But look how much space. Now Devin gets to be Devin, and we get to work in space. We get a big punt return going. Okay? Again, we lost this game. You think, big return, block punt? Damn, how'd you lose? That's a question for freaking our offensive coordinator over there, okay? I'm kidding. Big love. Okay, scheme the return versus the shield. I'm going to have to do a lot in the breakout session, okay? My aims, figure out the direction, return against the flow of the coverage, and then double the most dangerous gunners, okay? Double the most dangerous coverage players, okay? Shield coverage relies on 6, maybe the snapper as well, players covering downfield. The shield players are generally big, slow, bad coverage guys. Great protectors, bad coverage guys, okay? If you're on a pro-style punt and you use offensive line, okay, shame on you. But whatever, it's okay. You're trying to force these guys to cover in space. Have mercy on these guys. Devin Burrell versus 3, GFL 3, offensive lineman in space. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Realistically, you should not have to block those shield players. If your returner cannot make the shield players miss, get a new returner. Okay, just put a different guy back there, okay? Maths, 1 player to force the kick. 1 player to return the ball, 9 players to block 7 coverage guys. We can commit 2 double teams. +2 in the return game. That's good for us, okay? We had the triple double, okay, versus the Karlstad Crusaders, okay? We're going to late double with these guys, and then this guy was their best coverage player, so we doubled him, okay? Triple double. Okay, we were leaving the backside tackle. We were turning it this way. I was so excited about this game plan, and then guess what? They scored 45 points and they didn't punt the whole game. Oh, whatever. That would have been great on film, right? So figure out the flow of the shield punt, okay? This one's clearly a punt to the right, so we're going to set everything up to the left. All the leverage, all the players are getting in leverage positions. Now we can flip the field and return down to the left, okay? Have a plan forward, okay? Return scheme teach tape. I'll talk about it later. This guy's asking what the hell's going on. I really like this from 54. This is Stanisław Ijak. He's a Polish D lineman, 18 years old, first game, okay? He's running down the field. He knows we got a right return on, okay? So he's got to get to a leverage spot on number 32, okay? He's not going to push him in the back. He's going to be smart and screen him off. Oh, that's a smart play by an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? That's a smart-ass play by an 18-year-old to do that, okay, in the ELF. Okay, but he's taught, get your body between you, your defender, and the return direction. Okay, whatever. That was that. Okay, in every time you call a return, you need at least one player to rush the punter, to force the kick. Else you are essentially playing drop 11. You guys with me there? You're playing drop 11 defense. Who here plays drop 11 defense? Good answer, nobody, okay? Always have at least one guy, okay? Put your best rusher on the worst blocker, force the kick. If you don't force the kick, fakes happen, and the punter can wait on the coverage to advance downfield. Everyone's seen this before, okay? LSU are up by 2 scores. Punter catches the ball, realizes that nobody is forcing the kick. Oh, no. Uh-oh. And I just want to leave this on because, rightly so, whoever's Florida head coach is absolutely motherfucking the special teams coordinator. What the fuck are you doing, asshole? Oh my God, I can't believe that's so fucking dumb. Oh my God, you can't rush the kicker. What the hell, man? And then they called it off for a penalty anyway, so whatever. But here's another thing, right? This is just from British football, okay? This guy's a pretty smart, savvy football player. Okay, they're in some kind of pro-style formation, bad snap, but there's no one to rush the punt. So he just stands and waits, picks a spot, and then kicks it where all his coverage guys have gone downfield, okay? You must have someone to rush the punt, okay? Final thing, and this will be it, okay? My game plan at every level. I'm actually getting through everything here, okay? I only carry 2 punt return calls into every game. I carry a big block, and I carry a return call. And I pretty much say to the head coach, you want me to return it? Yep, okay. End of the half, end of the game. Hey, we're going to go for the block. Yep, okay, cool. Two calls, okay? I'll install, okay, let me do this first. The advantage of this, okay? We're unpredictable on film. It looks like a new thing every week. It looks like we're doing a new scheme every week, which we kind of are, okay? But we have base alignment rules, okay? Teams can't prepare for you cleanly, okay? It's hard to prepare for us, okay? We get the best return block scheme every week versus a new punt formation versus a new personnel set, okay? And it's actually a low mental load on the players. It's 3 minutes to walk through the block, 3 minutes to walk through the return if you do it efficiently, okay? Maybe a little longer, okay? But that's it. That's all you need. I'd always start when I install at the start of the season with base alignment rules, a block side, a return side. I can go into that in more detail in the breakout room. And install one base return scheme. That's it. But in the season, we get into a new play every week. Okay, and you think, wow, you're installing a new punt return every week? No, I'm just going to do a little something different and adjust for whatever opponent I have. Okay, and that means I fuck people up, and that's what we want to do, okay? We get after their asses, okay? When I give them a game plan every week, okay, like a scout report. An example when we played the Warriors, okay? Good team. These are the 2 best teams in the UK, okay? Put your play calls in there. On punt return, we either called him river late double, and it was in highlighted green because it was new, or the big block, or punt safe. And then these were the other calls, okay? I even had a win plan, okay? I see you creeping up towards me, okay? I'm almost there, okay? Listen, and then you give them the pictures for that week, okay? Late doubles, this is their formation, okay? And then the big block call, okay? It's 2 calls they got to remember. And then the punt safe plan as well when you want to leave the defense out on the field. I'll talk about that in the breakout, okay? Because that's interesting as well, okay? And then my last thing. If you ever are the special teams coordinator and the punt team give up a pre-snap penalty, illegal shift, false start, 12 guys on the field, which happens, on the next play, call the other play. Get into a different look. Because the punt team are already nervous. The personal protector's like, oh, it was a 35, now it's a 53, or it's 44, fuck. And then that's when mistakes happen. Okay? That's when mistakes happen. So we're playing here. We're in our return look. It's going to be a late double. I got 4 guys on the line, 3 guys off the line. Personal protector commits a pre-snap penalty. Okay, next play. Oh, that personal protector's already like, don't get nervous. I'm a little bit shaky. Now I'm bringing 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Oh, man, I'm so evil. And then we get guys through, and we get a tip ball, and we get the ball in their half. What a fucking awesome idea by me, right? I took it from someone else. Don't worry. I took it from someone else. Takeaways, okay? I'm right there. Use principles of offense and defense to make chaotic things, which football is chaotic, ordered. Give mental clarity. Give your players a leverage plan. okay, in the return game. Give them the plan to keep, okay? Be intentional with your alignment, okay, on the punt return team. It gets your players into good position. And here's an action for all of you. Go and identify the schemes you will see this season. See, are they a shield family or are they a pro style family? Are they gap or are they man protection based? And now you all have the tools, even you have the tools as well, and you have the tools as well to go and attack them, okay? That's it. You guys have got the tools now. You guys go figure it out, okay? That's me. I'm being in the breakout room now talking punt return, okay? Thank you.